you a bit about Normal and start by telling you a bit about my background. I was a founding team member at the consumer products company Quirky. Quirky brings 3 brand new products to life every single week by leveraging an online community of millions of people around the world who are submitting their ideas onto Quirky.com. Every week on Thursday night at 7 p.m., people from all around the world tune in live to Quirky.com and vote on the next week's product ideas. Now, Quirky's able to deliver 3 brand new products every single week because of their amazing facility in Chelsea where they have 3D printers, laser cutters, vacuum form machines, and the best manufacturing advances at their fingertips. So it was during my time at Quirky and being around all this amazing advances in 3D printing and manufacturing where I came to this realization that we're living in this very small, medium, large world. A world where everything is a size, right? You went to get your coffee this morning and you ordered a size. I like to call it this sort of Goldilocks world where, you know, it's a little too big or too small, too hot or too cold, and maybe it's close enough, hopefully, but is it ever just right? So in my case, no, it's never just right. I'm pretty much a medium from the shoulders down. I have large swimmer shoulders that have not changed, even though I stopped swimming 8 years ago, a pretty average size head, and extra large mouth. And of course, I have super normal ears. But you know, it didn't used to be this way, right? Years ago, you could go to your local tailor shop or your cobbler, and you could get shoes that were custom made for your feet. It wasn't a size jacket, it was built for you and your body. And then as we know, Industrial Revolution, and everything became standardized. So the truth is that mass customization, it really has been around for quite some time. In fact, Nike, these are Nike ID, in fact, you could have ordered these 15 years ago. Nike.com, you customize the colors. It takes about 6 weeks, and you get this pair that you designed. Dell, with their custom computer program, same thing. You can order online and get a custom computer to you. And in fact, there is even a company that does custom earphones. It's called Ultimate Ears, and the way it works is you make an appointment at a doctor, you visit an audiologist, they squirt silicone in your ears, you keep your jaw clenched for 10 minutes, and then 6 weeks later, and depending on the model, it's between $1,000 and $2,000, you can get a pair of custom in-ear monitors. So in the case of Ultimate Ears and others, customization it's slow, it's hard, it's expensive, and it's impossible to scale. So that is why I created Normal. It goes back to that company, Ultimate Ears, with the custom headphones. As I mentioned at the beginning of the talk, I was a swimmer, so did a lot of cross-training and running, and always had this problem of ill-fitting earphones, and I wanted to solve this problem. Now, to me, going to an audiologist and getting silicone stuck in my ears and that whole thing, and $2,000 was not something I was comfortable doing. But having been around those 3D printers at Quirky for all that time, I was like, there's got to be a better way. Can we do this without sticking any nasty stuff in our ears, and can we do it from home in an accessible way to all consumers? So we went down this process of trying to prototype what is today Normal. How can we go from a photo to a custom fit product for you, to something that has a standard driver but a unique shape, to something that then has a cable assembly that can be connected to it and assembled at a factory scale, to something that looked beautiful. So this was the first sort of looks-like prototype of what Normals are today. This was another colorway we originally designed. But then what about the sound? Also something that sounds incredible and is a premium sounding product while also fitting you, just for you. And how can we make that through a 3D printing process here in New York? That was the very first part that came off one of our printers at Normal today. And that was the first assembled pair of Normals that we made with the existing drivers that fit my ears. Much rougher than what they look like today. But we went into tooling, and as you can see from that photo, different parts came off at different times, so we were glue tacking them together to make sure it sounded the way we wanted to. And the colors were off and whatnot. But eventually we ended up with a process that works. So the way it works is you download the mobile app, and it's available in the iTunes Store or in the Google Play Store. And it prompts you to grab a quarter and take a couple of ear selfies. Then you get to customize your normals, so you choose the color of the cable, the color of the 3D printed part, the color of the cabinet, all these different things to make them uniquely yours, not only due to the size and the fit for you, but also the personalization, the color preferences. And then we build it for you at our factory, which is right here in Chelsea, just a few blocks north of here. We have 10 3D printers, we have laser cutters, we have a paint booth, audio testing equipment, and a full assembly line. And in less than 48 hours, you end up with a product that looks like this, or this, or this. And again, it's all delivered to you in less than 48 hours. So in addition to this product, this earphone that people want to buy, we wanted to create a brand that people would admire as well, something that you would get excited about when you open the box, or when you got one of our business cards, or the carrying case that it came in. And we launched Normal in July of 2013. And this is a quote that I want to share from Ellis Hamburger at The Verge around launch. And he said, "There are 3D printed bears, guns, pizzas, and flowers, but until now, nothing 3D printed that I'd actually want to buy." So I talked a little bit about the brand and the product. And we also wanted to create an online presence that is one that would attract people to come to us. So take a look at this commercial that we created for Normal.
Cartilaginous, fleshy, flappy, wondrous. What you may not realize is that your ears are quite unlike anyone else's. Completely unique, in fact.
Which is why we created this, the Normal app.
You take a photo of each ear and send it to us. We send you back a pair of earphones formed to the exact specifications of those special places affixed to either side of your head.
Manufacturing a perfect likeness of an ear is not for the amateur.
The work is arduous, puzzlingly complex, and produces peculiar aromas. May I please introduce you to the tailor?
He personally crafts each pair of Normal earphones with his dexterous fingers. And it fits like a damn glove.
Introducing Normal. Custom 3D printed earphones exquisitely tailored to your ear hole.
So that's a little bit of our, like I said, that's our commercial that we share online. And as you can tell, that's very far from normal. And in fact, it's nothing like what our factory looks like. But we did want to do more than create an online presence and create a factory. We actually wanted to bring people to that physical location. So the factory that I spoke about in Chelsea, that looks nothing like the commercial, but looks like this, is actually a retail store. So at 150 West 22nd Street, between 6th and 7th, right here in New York, it's actually a store that's also a factory, that's also our headquarters. So when you walk in, you can actually see your entire product being built from the beginning to the very end, all the way up into the point where it's shipped or picked up. Those 10 printers that I spoke about earlier, they actually line the perimeter of the retail store, right in full view. You can see our engineers and our designers take the trays off, load the trays, sand your parts, paint your parts, assemble. Everything happens in a fully transparent view to the consumer. Couple more shots of our factory. And again, I encourage anyone who's here to come visit. We're open 7 days. But again, since we launched in July and our factory opened in August, we've realized that customization isn't important just person to person, but it really even matters ear to ear. So the ears on your own head, your right and left, are actually quite different. And that's why many of us say, my ears are so weird, nothing stays in when I run, the right one always falls out, and that was a problem I had. But the truth is, no, you're completely normal. Everyone's ears look about like this in terms of their difference. So we see an average of 20% variance by volume just between the two ears on either side of your own head. So here's an overlay of some of the recent orders and how different people's ears actually are. I'm one of 3 girls, and our normals do not fit each other at all. My older sisters fall right out of my ears, and my younger sister's completely hurt when I put hers in. So it's completely different from person to person. And here are some photos of some recent orders. And I want to end with one quote from Liz Gaines at Recode, who said, "The real promise of 3D printing isn't about manufacturing products for everyone. It's about manufacturing products for just one person." So we're open, like I mentioned, and normals cost $199, but we're offering a special discount for all PSFK attendees. So it's $100 for the next 48 hours if you come to the store or if you check out in either app using the code PSFK15. Thank you.